Hello everyone. Well, happy Thanksgiving if you are in Canada. I know that it's a day that has some mixed emotions, but I'm going to take the thanks in Thanksgiving and apply that to my life and understand that even as a nation, trust me, this is a big thing, we need to do better and somehow make amends for all that has gone wrong with our Indigenous people. This vegan turkey will be perfect for American Thanksgiving as well. I am today going to try this recipe from It Doesn't Taste Like Chicken. Now this is a great website. It has lots of recipes. I've made my own versions of vegan chicken, turkey, but I haven't tried sort of that ball looking kind of turkey, like a tofurkey. And I didn't want to buy one this week or for this Thanksgiving, so I said let me try making one. So that's what I'm going to do, guys, and we're going to see how it turns out. The addition to this is a crispy rice paper to make a skin on top of it. Sounds good. So let's get started. So this is a mix, I guess, mainly of tofu and wheat gluten. Now, I've made the same thing, and I always play around with my recipes. In fact, I think I just found a recipe I'm going to put up with turkey cutlets that I made for Thanksgiving a few years ago. I feel like I never posted that video, so I'm also going through and trying to find videos to make sure I post. But let's try this recipe and see how it turns out. Now, the thing is, you need to use firm tofu, and apparently not the extra firm and not soft, but firm. So I have a block of firm tofu, and I think she says like 340 grams. This one was 500 grams, so I've just taken off a small piece of this because I'm going to use it to test with something else. So I'm just using my KitchenAid food processor, and I'm just going to take the tofu and break off big clumps of it and put into my food processor. So you're supposed to put your your firm tofu in there, and then also 1.5 cups, which I've just measured out here, of wheat gluten. Next, we're going to put 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast in here, a tablespoon of white miso paste. Now it says you can use veggie broth powder or a cube, and I happen to have an Aurora vegetable cube, so I'm just going to put the cube in. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now it also calls for 2 teaspoons of onion powder, which I don't have. I have onion salt. So because I have onion salt, I'm not going to put the 1/2 teaspoon of salt that it's requesting in this video, and I will instead use my onion salt here. That's 2 teaspoons. 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme leaves. I have this from my thyme plant that's growing in my house. And also then a 1/4 teaspoon of sage. Now I don't have any dried sage. I keep thinking rosemary. I have fresh sage. I'm just gonna, tear up a leaf. It's fresh. I'm now also, now that we're in fall, I'm gonna take the plant and take the leaves and dry them. Oh, it smells so good. So I've got the sage in there. The only other thing I need is 2 tablespoons of water. We're gonna now get this all together and mix. I'm already thinking, should I add a little rosemary to this? But I'm gonna try this as it is. I might put rosemary on the skin if it doesn't call for that. So what I've ended up with is a crumbly texture, so I'm just going to go in, that's a piece of tofu, I'm basically going to take this all out and mix it by hand. Okay, so I've decided first to just give it another mix in the food processor and see how it turns out. And the more it's mixing, it seems to be coming together, so just give it a bit more time. Okay, so I've put it on high, it's mixed, I think it's probably mixed well. I'm just going to dump it into a bowl, guys, and kind of continue doing the shaping in here. Yeah, okay. So just definitely leave it in the, I can see now, like, I can see where it at first I was like, oh, it's so crumbly, but I put it on high, and all I'm gonna do now is work to kind of mold it and shape it into a ball. So I'll do that and I'll be back. Okay guys, so you're gonna take your seitan and you're gonna wrap it in foil. Now if you are the type who does not like to wrap in foil, you can put some parchment paper around it first, then put the foil, because we're gonna steam this, so that's why it needs to be wrapped. So I'm just gonna get this wrapped and I'll be back. This is already a good heft. This is a pretty good size. It feels heavy and I like it. Unfortunately, I don't have a proper steamer that would have like that kind of little level in there, so your stuff doesn't touch the bottom. But I do have an old, this was from a deep fryer. I have that, and I've used it before as a steamer. So I'm gonna I put this in the pot, I'm gonna fill water in here, and I'm gonna put this on top, and this will close. And you're gonna steam it for an hour. So I think you're gonna bring it to a boil first, but let me get the water in here. Like, this is really a good little ledge. If you don't have that, you could possibly use something else, but you know, ideally. Or you could just maybe wrap it up extra securely and put it in the pan. So let's get that started. Okay, it's boiling. So I'm going to lower the temperature. And then I'm gonna put my ball in there. And I'm covering. So we're gonna steam for an hour. Guys, just to be clear, I put this to medium because on the lower setting it was just a little bit too low, and yeah, it wasn't steaming up as much as I wanted. So it's good now. You can hear it bubbling, it's cooking, and just gonna let that do its thing for an hour. Okay guys, so I also made my own little seitan thing here, which I'm gonna try for sandwich meat. Didn't film it. I think I posted a picture of my sandwich meat when I made it, and it was really good. I put liquid smoke in there, had some really good flavor, but I have to create a recipe and film it. Okay guys, so I have cooked up the turkey and let this cool for quite some time. Now if you need it sooner, you're gonna just have to deal with it as it's hotter. So this is what it looks like, and I'm liking that. I just left it in the foil. So it's got like a nice kind of crispy, not crispy, like a harder outer edge to it. This part's probably going to be a bit moister. So what we need now is we're going to make our crispy skin. So set your oven to 400 degrees. You're going to take about a 1/4 cup of butter, and I didn't fully measure this, but I think that's about a 1/4 cup. You're going to mince 4 cloves of garlic. Add your 4 cloves of garlic to your butter mixture. This recipe says either use a 1/2 teaspoon salt or 1½ teaspoons of soy sauce. And I'm going to use the soy sauce because when I made turkey, I always like to have a bit of color, and I used soy sauce on my turkey. So I'm going to put 1½ teaspoons of the soy sauce right in there. Okay, so it says here 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme leaves. Now with my thyme plant, I'm just taking a few of the leaves here and I'm going to crumble them into this. I think I have some dried thyme, but I'm also going to change the recipe. I'm just going to change it slightly. This might not be a 1/2 teaspoon, and that's okay, because what I'm doing to this is I'm going to add a bit of ground rosemary. I think I want to have a 1/4 teaspoon of ground rosemary that I'm going to add to this. This always just reminds me of poultry, just like sage. Maybe not quite a 1/4 teaspoon. Let's call this an 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm going to have an 1/8 of a teaspoon in there. I don't want it to overpower anything, guys. My black pepper is my pepper grinder. I'm just going to twist some in here. Alright, so let me give this a mix. I'm going to give it a mix and a smell. It smells good. The garlic smells really nice on that. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your roast. I'm just using a cake pan here, and you're going to put some of this mixture on top of your roast. Then you're also going to need a piece of rice paper. Now you might have a brush, which I do, but I feel like I'm just gonna put it on here and try to like mix it with my fingers. It smells good. mean, I could possibly add a bit more rosemary, or if I had the dried sage, I might add it. But as I said, I'm going to try this recipe for what it is and see how I like it. But so far, I really like the idea of making your own vegan turkey. This was not hard at all. And, you know, depending on what you want to spend, this is definitely cheaper. I have no problem supporting Tofurky, Gardein. Those guys have been there for all of us vegans over the holidays, so no problem buying those as well. You could try one of each if you like. Or if you can't find a roast, remember when we had the Gardein shortage? You can make this for yourself. Okay, guys. So that's looking really nice. Gosh, it's smelling good. Ooh, okay, so I'm gonna get my piece of rice paper. So this is what rice paper looks like. It looks like it's like a hard piece of paper, but you're gonna wet it to allow it to start softening up. And possibly it's better to let it sit for a bit so it kind of gets more wet and more malleable. But let me just see how this works, trying to wet this initially, and then you're gonna wrap it on your roast. I really like how this turned out. And I'm going to then add more of the seasoning to the top. Okay, all right, I wet it a little bit, and it's not so bad actually. I wet it, kind of held it, and now I was gonna dip it into this water, which I probably will, but it's already becoming a bit more malleable, so you just gotta give it, like, wet it and kind of let it soften up, I'd say for 30 seconds to a minute. You can wet it more if you need to, but essentially you want it to kind of look like a nice piece of cloth, like this at this point. Alright guys, so this is good to me. And it might stick together on different parts. Ooh yeah, look at that, look. You see that, guys? Okay, that came over this nice and easily. Look how it's draped at the sides. So we're gonna tuck this under, okay? This is our skin. We're gonna tuck it under. And for this size, one sheet of rice paper is perfect. Okay, so I'm trying to tuck it under, but you know, it's going as best as it can. Let me just do this. Okay, I love this already, guys. And crispy skins are always nice, and honestly, if you've ever tried like the soy skins, and those are nice and crispy, I've got some videos coming with that as well, guys. I have so much stuff I've filmed and not edited, but anyway. So just thoroughly coat your rice paper, and if you're like me, I've taken the little leftover. I'm gonna use that for the base of my gravy. Now, I filmed myself making the gravy, but I don't know if you want the recipe for that. I figure everyone knows how to make gravy, but let me know if you want me to post that. Oh my goodness. Hello, vegan turkey. This looks amazing. It looks amazing and it smells amazing, and look how well the rice, oh gosh, this is perfect. Well, I haven't tasted it yet, but I love how that's crisped up. I love how you've got the garlic on there. What didn't we have in here? I'd maybe put some onion, salt. I mean, garlic is fresh, but you can put garlic, pepper. You can obviously add to this the seasonings that you would like, but I'm gonna taste this, and I'm just gonna let it cool a little bit. I've got my gravy, and I'm gonna just like cook up some kale greens and saute them. All right, guys, look at this roast. It's time to cut it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, oh yeah, look at that skin. Okay, I'm gonna try to cut another little piece here. Okay, so let me just take a piece. This end piece is gonna be perfect because, well, it's got the skin on it. Now the skin is obviously crispier on the top, and that's flavorful and delicious. That piece of skin I already tasted. Let's take a bite. I consider this to be pretty incredible. This is really pretty incredible. Well done. I mean, check out her website. She's got tons and tons of recipes. She's got cookbooks. It doesn't taste like chicken. Wow. Super good. This is better than Tofurky. And the skin is a really great touch. Yeah, it's delicious. No one should complain about this, quite frankly. What did I spend on the wheat gluten? Maybe $3. The tofu pack was like less than $3. So we're talking $6 here, guys, with your effort at the most, honestly. Look at that turkey, guys. Doesn't that look amazing? Again, worth the effort. And here's my plate of food. Fantastic vegan meal. Let me know if you try it. See you in the next video, and happy Thanksgiving.